Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm bringing you another closed-end fund that delivers really good income, some growth, all in a closed-end fund that also employs the covered call strategy. You know how I like my dividends, big fan of the covered call strategy. This one, you know, we've been talking about QYLD. That's been like the big thing. The knock on QYLD, no growth. The one we're talking about today gives you a good income stream, also growth opportunity. And I'm excited to share this one with you today. I'm gonna kind of gloss over some things because I've explained the closed-end fund and how they work a little bit better in other videos. So especially my last video, if you want to understand a little bit better about what closed-end funds are, watch the last video. It explains how the net asset value is and the share price. I might gloss over them here, but I go a little bit into deeper detail in the previous video. So if you're new here, please consider liking, subscribing, all that good stuff. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know you're new here. I love the comments that we've been getting lately. Very positive, and we've been having great conversations down there, down in the comment section. So if you'd like, please, it'd mean a lot to me. Give me a like, share, subscribe. All right, cool. All right, so what are we talking about today? Today we are talking about QQQX. It's not the QQQ, but it is based on the QQQ, just like QYLD is, except this is a closed-end fund, not an ETF. This one has been around since 2007. It is ran by Nuveen Fund Advisors, LLC, and it tracks the Nasdaq 100. And when they say dynamic overwrite fund, that means overwrite means that they're selling covered calls against the stocks. You'll see it has a gross expense ratio of 1.07%. Reason for that is these are closed-end funds are actively managed. So you have a team of experts running your portfolio. And the manager is David Fryer, and he's been almost 10 years managing this fund. And let's take a look at Mr. David Fryer here and see if we can. There he is. Looks like a smart man. Let's see if it has some details on him. So he is a portfolio manager for Nuveen's multi-asset portfolio management team. Let's see. David joined the firm in 1999 as a member of the Performance Measurement Group. Before his role in portfolio management, he provided quantitative analysis for equity portfolios and constructed quantitatively driven portfolios for institutional and taxable clients. So he graduated with a BS in finance from Metropolitan State University. So with him and a few other people, that is why your expense ratio is high, is because you're paying for these experts to manage the portfolio. So let's see. What is the distributions on this? Let's take a look. Distributions and expenses. So it has a distribution rate, 6.6% distribution yield. It is paid quarterly. Sorry to disappoint you. I know you were looking for a monthly payout, but this is a quarterly payer. And we'll see most of the income is either qualified dividends, long-term capital gains, or return of capital. Now, with a return of capital, I'm not an expert, but with return of capital, it doesn't have to be destructive. Doesn't mean it's bad for the fund, okay? We'll see that in its performance. But from my understanding, I'm not 100%, I'm not a tax guy. If you have return of capital, it's best to be outside of a tax protected account, so in a taxable account. I don't know that for 100% sure. Please verify that with a tax professional. So that's QQQX. And one thing I wanted to do is go over quickly the overview of it. I should have done this first, but the potential benefits: it's an equity portfolio, provides the opportunity to participate in Nasdaq 100 index returns. So it doesn't cap, it tries not to cap the return or the growth like QYLD does. It does a little bit, but not as much. Because if we see here, if we read this paragraph right here, the fund is designed to offer regular distributions through a strategy that seeks attractive total return with less volatility than the Nasdaq 100 index by investing in an equity portfolio that seeks to substantially replicate the price movements of the Nasdaq 100, which is the QQQ, by the way, as well as selling call options on 35 to 75% of the notational value of the fund's equity portfolio, with a 55% long-term target. So they really only want to do roughly half of the portfolio selling covered calls. The other half, they want the growth. Okay, so it's this is kind of like a QQQ QYLD hybrid. So another thing you want to look at when looking at closed-end funds is look at press releases. See, that's why I tried to advise people with closed-end funds. You really are paying, the reason why you're paying that expense ratio is for the management. So really pay attention to the manager. If you are, if all of a sudden the manager just drops off and a new manager gets replaced in there, you may not like it because that same performance may not happen because you have a different set of hands on it. So we'll look here, see effective August 3rd, 2020, Jim Campagna, Lei Lio, and Darren Tran will join the portfolio management team for the fund. So when you're in a closed-end fund, you want to pay attention to these things. So let's look at this press release. Actually, do I have it up? I do. So effective August 3rd, those three people I mentioned are joining. But the good news is David Fryer will continue as portfolio manager of the funds and will be responsible for overseeing the option strategies for each fund. That's important. He knows how to return distributions from the fund. So if he were replaced, I'd be a little bit worried. And this is good news here. August 3rd, 2020, the fund strategy, the board of trustees approved a modification to the fund's equity portfolio investment strategy, and it will take into consideration each fund's tax position and employ various techniques, including tax loss harvesting, to improve after-tax shareholder outcomes. So, you know, you have to keep up with these things when you're basically hiring somebody to manage a portfolio for you. That's what these closed-end funds are. So let's take a look. at the dividend history, and it's been up and down, and this was in 2008. So after 2009 they ended up cutting a little bit into 2010. The reason why you didn't get a cut during the 2008-2009 crash is usually closed-end funds are mandated to pay they usually at the beginning of the year they are mandated to pay a certain amount whether or not they make the return or not. Okay, so that's why these are considered income vehicles, because usually the income from a closed-end fund, normally good closed-end funds, let me get that straight, are typically very steady. So you'll see that they've been a little bit all over the place. Not all over the place, but when you employ a covered call strategy, your income is going to vary. And so now they're at about 39 cents a quarter. And then if we look over here on the CEF Connect, we can see where the share price is versus the net asset value. And we'll look at currently, they're trading about flat. They're about a 0.8% discount right now. Their 52-week average is about a 1% discount. So it's fairly valued right now. Now, like I said in the previous video, when the black line, which is price, and the NAV, which is blue, when they become disconnected is when you get the best opportunity. And when the price is disconnected lower than the net asset value is, the best time to get in. So you look at the 52-week low, which was probably right here in this past March, you had a opportunity to get a 15.65% discount to the net asset value of the fund. So in other words, let's say the shares were, let's say the net asset value was $100, just to make it simple. You were able to pay 15% less for that net asset value. So you were able to pay $85 for $100 worth of net asset value. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, leave me a comment down below. So we look in here. I like to look over here to the fund basics and see if the closed-end fund employs any leverage, because a lot of times they'll take loans out to boost returns. And we'll see here they have no leverage at all in this fund, and that is awesome for a closed-end fund. Then we'll look here at the portfolio characteristics and the holdings in it. Big familiar names. It's the Nasdaq 100, so Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, both alphabets, Facebook, Intel, Cisco, PayPal, Nvidia, so and they are holding these funds and writing covered calls on about half of it. Okay. And that's the Nuveen Nasdaq 100 Dynamic Overwrite, ticker symbol QQQX. So how was the performance for the past 10 years? Because we know that manager has been with this fund for about 10 years. So how has he done in the 10 years? Well, let's check it out. I'm going to do a July 6, 2010 to July 6, 2020. And I'm going to compare it to nothing. And we're going to just chart that. Bring that over here to the middle. So it looks like with dividends reinvested from July 6, 2010 to July 6, 2020, you had a total return of 328.88%. That's an average total return of 15.66% with dividends reinvested. With dividends not being reinvested and you just taking the income, you still got a total return of 221.14%, or an average annual total return of 12.36%. Awesome fund. knowing that you're going to get growth and a big 6% dividend off of basically the QQQ Nasdaq 100 big tech stocks. So Microsoft, Apple, Google, you're getting a 6% dividend yield from them. That is big time in my eyes. And I'm thinking about actually taking a position in this one along with the QYLD. I don't know. We'll see. If you have any questions, please let me know down below. I hope you got something out of this. Like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I appreciate every last one of you. You guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye-bye. I am not a financial advisor. The information contained in this video is for entertainment and informational purposes only. It is not intended to be investment advice. Please seek a licensed professional for any investment, tax, or legal advice. Thank you.